I grew up fishing my whole life, and growing up as a kid, you know, I knew what I wanted to do, I just had to figure out how to do it. And I didn't know, more or less, that I was going to end up in the position or the shoes that I'm in now. The reason why I'm in this position now is, you know, I just like it. It's like I've got this undying desire to just be out there on the water. I'm in the perfect spot, you know. I always just want to fish. That's all I want to do. I was just tying flies for this shop, and I got my license, and the more time I spent there in the shop, the more times I was approached about just running trips. You know, just, hey, do you guide, do you take people fishing? That's just kind of like how quick that happened for me. Man, I mean, there's times like I almost want to take like a year or 2 or 3 years off just to go and expand even just my own knowledge of the fishery that I spent so much time in. You know, I mean, there's still just an infinite amount of stuff that you can learn day in and day out just by being out there. And if you're out there as much as you possibly can, you can do a better job for the people that get on your bow. I've been starting my days out at around 5. You get at the ramp at 7. Based on where I'm at in the tide, whether I have an outgoing or an incoming, will determine where I set up on the sandbar with the troughs, or even if I do set up on the sandbar, given the strength of the tide or where I'm at in the tide. Typically, if I don't get blasted up by jet skis or overcrowded by other boats, pretty patient person, I'll stick and stay. I mean, 8, 9, 10, 11 hours in pretty much the same general 300-yard area for the most part. I don't know, that's just my style of fishing. Depending on how I feel when I get off the water will determine whether I hit the car wash or if I pressure wash it back home and just make sure it's ready for tomorrow, you know, the next day. I would rather fish in semi-dingy, tannic water than something that's just crystal clear. Most people don't want to put in the patience to try to see a fish in dirty water. I mean, they're struggling to see food just like we're struggling to see them. If they come across a cheeseburger right in front of their face, man, there's no thinking involved. They just react upon instinct and just come out and grab it. Seeing them in clean water is great because you got a lot of time to see them coming, but you also got a lot of time to think about how many ways you can possibly screw it up before you get the opportune moment to put the fly there. Man, I mean, it's intimidating. You see these things coming from a long ways out. I mean, it's freaking incredible. This is my favorite thing in the whole world. Every time I get up on the bow, like I'm gonna go back home next week and I can't wait to get up there and just get one shot at fish, one beachside fish. And I'm gonna shake so fucking bad. My first shot, I mean, it's like your knees just get weak. You can't even handle it. And then you throw out there, you watch that fish go, you hook that fish and he'll take 100 foot of fly line and then more. Sometimes you get a 5-year outboard to go get him. That's pretty cool, that's fun. That's fun for everybody.